Welcome back to The Bloated Chef. I am Chef Jerome, an actual bloated chef. And before we get to today's informative and entertaining tutorial, please be sure to slap down on that like button, click the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and share with the entire planet. Please keep your hands inside the ride at all times, and we thank you. And welcome back to The Bloated Chef. And on the big board today, I've got some puff pastry I pulled out of my freezer and nothing but leftovers: pepperoni, pecorino romano, fresh mozzarella, marinara sauce, fresh basil, a can of pre-minced green olives, and even a hunk of red onion, garlic. Ladies and genitals, we are going to do pizza on a stick. Are you ready for this? I know you are. And by stick, I mean 6-inch skewers, right? You can find them at any local grocery store. Let's set those aside and focus on a wee bit of maintenance, huh? Here goes that fresh basil. We will chiffonade and then rough chop, because we want to sprinkle it, because this will represent one of our layers of flavor. Now, moving on, let's knock out that little piece of onion. That's right, very thin sliced. Turn it sideways, come across with a very small dice. Second layer of flavor. Now let us work on a Blautteig. Das ist German for puff pastry. Anyways, let's lay our puff pastry down on a well-floured surface. Take your time, make sure you've refrigerated it and slacked it out of the freezer. Do not leave it at room temperature. Slowly, it takes about 24 to 36 hours. Nice and pliable, plenty of flour. Let's start rolling it out. We want to stretch it just a little bit. We want to think sheet pan. Can it fit in a sheet pan, a 12 by 18? The standard in the food industry. Having finished that, we will spray our pan so it does not stick. On goes that puff pastry. Lay it out, make sure it's flat, make sure it lays flat. There you go. Smooth the edges, get it off of the rim, and we are good to go. Next step, let us begin building. First things first, the sauce. Yeah, I made a big batch. Stuck about 4 of these quarts into the freezer. Take out one every 2 weeks to a month or so. You'll have plenty of good marinara on hand. By the way, that's my super greens marinara. Go back to one of my original recipes and you'll see it. Next level, we will add a larger shred on that pecorino romano for this bottom layer. We will grate some more fresh on top. This will add a nice salty component. All right, let's go after that whole milk block of mozzarella cheese. Do not buy skim milk or low moisture. Just buy whole milk. It's the best. And then start laying your bricks down, laying your slices down. All the while thinking about making your spacing and making sure your cheese has got enough of a line in the middle, because you're going to slice these. All right, there we go. Those are all down, and there goes our pepperoni right on top. That looks like about 5 or 6 per row. That should be perfect. Let's move on to our odds and ends from our leftovers. There goes some of that diced red onion. Follow that up with those minced green olives. That little crappy can's going to add a nice, kind of a briny, almost tangy after effect on the first bite. And we will finish up with all that glorious, glorious fresh basil. Not all of it, but most of it. We'll use some for garnish, of course. Back into the fridge it goes, and now let's work on the top piece of our puff pastry pizza on a stick. Same idea, same idea. Well-floured surface. Make sure your dough is nice and floured. Roll it out, stretch it out, try and guesstimate. You should be able to get pretty close. If you find little pinches or little holes in it, do not worry. It will bake over itself. Fix them, repair your divots, repair your ball marks. You know how it goes in the world of golf. Come on. Let's slap this thing together. On goes that top piece. You can even see a couple of little puncture wounds there. Not to worry. Pinch over them. The dough is pliable. It's still cool, but it's not too warm. It holds together nicely this way. It holds its shape, but you can also work with it. So now let's go ahead and crimp and pinch those edges. Make sure everything is nice and tight and locked in there. Flatten it out. There you go. Use your hands. Use your fingers along the edges. Try not to puncture, of course. Throw this back in the fridge for about 30 minutes so it can all firm up. You dig? While that's in the fridge, let's go ahead and get our egg wash together. It's just going to be one egg. Whip it till it's nice and fluffy. Run it under some cold water, about that much. And we remove our puff pastry dough from the fridge. Flip it over. Give it one more time around the edges. One more flattening. And we are ready to measure and cut our ribbons. Are you with me? Off the sheet pan, onto the cutting board. Let's go ahead and make our slices. We want to get 8 slices, so there's 7 cuts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That makes 8, baby. Now then, here's one of your keys. Remember the old ribbon candy in your grandmother's glass candy jar? She always offered it to you. All little boys like ribbon candy. Anyways, you're going to turn these into ribbons, fold them on top of each other, put a skewer through them, press them down, make sure you get your shape right. See what I'm doing here? Fold that tail over. One more time, fold it forward and fold it back. Are you with me? I know you are. Oopsie. And we now have 8 beauties on a stick. Time for the egg wash, which will help the browning and the crisping. Do not be shy. Liberally coat them with egg wash. That will help with the browning and very much help with the crispness. Are you with me? So far, I know you are. Once all 8 are coated liberally, it is time to garnish and season. Let's start out with a layer of fresh cracked pepper. Next up, we will do some dried oregano, some dried basil. If you had dried Italian seasoning, that would obviously work as well. I'm going to put some of that fried garlic on the top because I'm cray-cray like that. All right, are you with me so far? I know you are. And here comes a little topping of some more shredded Pecorino Romano cheese. Going to help in the browning and the crisping. Into a preheated 350 oven for 25 to 40 minutes. Depending on how crappy your oven is, of course. Now then, we are done. Timer has stopped. And guess what? How good does that look? Be honest with yourself. Let's get it plated. Let's get it garnished. And let's get into these pizza on a stick. Are you shitting me? No, I'm not. There goes some fine grated Pecorino Romano. And you see we got some basil in the middle of our marinara sauce. Let's give it a taste.
This will be a wicked hit at any fucking party.